Good morning, friends. Welcome back from spring break. I hope you had a great week off with your families. We are back for math, and as you've probably noticed, we are skipping lesson 8.4 for today. We'll come back to that this Thursday. So today we are on lesson 8.5, and you only need a pencil and a journal for now. You don't need a piece of paper. And then after this lesson, you're going to be asked to play one of my favorite everyday math games called Factor Bingo. And to play that game, you're going to need a deck of cards and something like maybe pennies that you can use as counters to play bingo. All right, so let's start with our mental math warm-up. I'm going to show you an extended fact, and I'd like you to figure out what the basic fact hiding inside of it is to help you solve the extended fact. So the first extended fact is 5 times 60. You should be thinking, what is the basic fact inside of there? The basic fact is 5 times 6. 5 times 6 equals 30, so 5 times 60 equals 300. All right, same thing. 7 times 70 is the extended fact. What's the basic fact hiding inside there? The basic fact is 7 times 7 is 49. So 7 times 70 is 490. All right, let's try a couple more. The extended fact is 8 times 30. What is the basic fact? The basic fact is 8 times 3. What does 8 times 3 equal? 24. So 8 times 30 is 240. And 7 times 40. Be thinking the basic fact is 7 times 4. That equals 28. So 7 times 40 is 280. All right, we have 2 more in our warm-up. This one says 8 times what factor equals 560? Well, the basic fact would be 8 times what equals 56. 8 times 7 equals 56. So 8 times 7d equals 560. And finally, what times 9 equals 810? What times 9 equals 81? 9 times 9 equals 81. So 90 times 9 equals 810. All right, let's move on to the math message. It says, list at least 5 products that have 4 as one of the factors. You didn't bring paper today, so you don't need to list. Just think in your mind of 5 products that have 4 as a factor. Remember, a product is the answer to a multiplication problem. So if you need to have 4 as a factor, it would be 4 times something equals what? And that what would be a product. All right, hit pause if you need a little more thinking time, but I'm going to go ahead and record some products that have 4 as a factor. So if I just start in order with 1 times 4, that product would be 4. So 4 is a product that has 4 as a factor. What about 2 times 4? 2 times 4 is 8, so 8 is another product. How about 3 times 4? 3 times 4? 12. So 12 is a product that has 4 as a factor. What about 4 times 4? 4 times 4 is 16. So 16 is another product. And 5 times 4? 5 times 4 is 20. So 20 is another product that has 4 as a factor. And you can literally go on and on and on. You could say 24, 28, 32, 36, 40, and on and on and on, as long as 4 times something equals that number. All right, we are going to move on to the directions to play Factor Bingo. I've pulled up the directions on the screen, so you can just look here, but I've also posted these directions on the website if you want to look back at them as you're playing at home. So, Factor Bingo. It says you're going to need number cards 2 through 10. You can use just regular playing cards. You need a Factor Bingo game mat, and that game mat is inside your math journal. And then it says you need 12 counters per player. You could just use pennies or beans, something where you can just cover your numbers on the bingo game mat, just like you do anytime we play bingo. And then it says 2 to 4 players, but actually this is a game you can also play on your own if you don't have somebody else around to play with you. All right, let's look down at the directions. It says, fill in your game mat. Choose 25 different numbers from 2 through 90. Write each number in exactly one square on your game mat. Don't put the numbers in order. Mix them up. And to help keep track of what numbers you use, you can circle them. So I'm going to show you what they're talking about. In your math journal on page 263, the page looks like this. It says Factor Bingo Game Mat. And you have 25 squares here to fill in, and then a bunch of numbers 2 through 90 at the bottom to choose from. So I'm going to go ahead and demonstrate what filling in this mat will look like. So I'm just going to randomly choose numbers and put them in random squares, and as I choose a number I'm going to circle it just to keep track of what I've used so far. 67, 51, 22, 9, 10, 20, 81, ooh, that's down there, 72, 64, 16. It does not matter what numbers you choose. Just remember you can only use each number one time and circle it down at the bottom so that you know you've already used it. Let's see. And you notice I'm really mixing them up. There's no rhyme or reason. Just have different numbers all throughout your board. Let's put 4 here, a few more. How about 63, 66, 56, and 36. All right, now my game mat is filled in with numbers. What you will do each time it's time to fill in the game board is to take your deck of cards, and if you don't have cards, your e-toolkit has a deck of cards. So that's what I'll be using to demonstrate. And you will hit deal, and the card that flips over is to be thought of as a factor. So when I come back to my game board, any number here that has 2 as a factor can be covered up. Now I am going to just highlight it with yellow instead of covering it up, but let me look. What number here has 2 as a factor? Meaning 2 times something equals that number. I know 2 times 11 equals 22, so I'm going to cover that up. Notice I have a lot of other answers here that have 2 as a factor, but I'm only allowed to cover 1 up each time a card is drawn. So I could have covered up 12 or 68 or 20, but I'm only allowed to cover up 1 space every time a card is dealt. So then we'll go back. The next card is 6. What on my game board has 6 as a factor? Well, I know that 6 times 6 is 36, so I could cover up 36. Or I could have thought 6 times 11 is 66. I could have covered up 66, but I'm only allowed to cover up 1 number per card. Then I'm going to come back, deal the next card, 7. What on my game board has 7 as a factor? Do you see one? Oh, I see. 7 times 9 is 63. I can cover that up. If I had another number that had 7 as a factor, I couldn't cover it up because just 1 per card. Deal again, 3. What on here has 3 as a factor? What do you think? Yeah, 15, because 3 times 5 is 15. Oh, I see 9, but I can't cover up 9 because I already covered up 15. So you will keep going like that until you get 5 across, 5 up and down, or 5 diagonally. If you're playing with somebody else, then for every card you flip over, each one of you has your own game map, and you each get to cover one number that has that card as a factor, and the first person to get bingo would win that round. All right, your job today is to fill in your own factor bingo game map. It's page 263 in your journal. Let me write it down for you. It's page 263 in your journal. It's not letting me write. All right, 263, and then when you're finished playing at least one round, the next page, page 264, is just a review of fractions. I'd like you to complete that page today as well, and then do Math Boxes 8.5 and Homelink 8.5. If any of you find Factor Bingo really fun and you want to play more rounds or create more boards, I'm posting on the website blank sheets that your family could print out at home if you wanted to play it some more on your own. All right, I'll see you back here tomorrow. Thanks, friends.